The Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
For the past 5 years, basketball fans have been glued to one of the most iconic rivalries in the sport, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. Two high school phenoms who took separate routes, Clark heading to Iowa, Bueckers to UConn, and clashed repeatedly on the NCAA stage, where Clark often stole the spotlight. Doubters, including legends like Gino Auriemma, questioned whether her college brilliance would carry over to the pros. But last night, under the bright lights as the Indiana Fever took on the Dallas Wings, Clark and Bueckers finally met as WNBA players. What followed wasn't just another chapter in their rivalry, it was history. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she shattered records in a way only she has done before. If you're ready to hear about the jaw-dropping numbers and the moment that had fans on their feet, drop a CC record breaker in the comments. Let's go. Picture this. Two teenage basketball prodigies capturing national attention, each carving out a legacy destined to collide. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers first squared off in high school, both hailed as top recruits but with contrasting styles and personalities. Clark brought fiery scoring, jaw-dropping range, and elite playmaking. Bueckers countered with effortless efficiency, a silky mid-range game, and court vision sharp enough to match Clark's. Their rivalry was born before college even began.
Hey, Caitlin. You've known Paige since middle school, AAU. You guys were on the U19 World Cup team together. Is there anything that maybe stood out then about her, whether it be on or off the court, that maybe still reigns true today?
I mean, I feel like she's played in the same manner that she, has since she was, whether we were on the U16 team together, U19 team together, whether it was me watching her in AAU. She's always just been smooth. She takes what the game gives her. Her midi has always been as nice as it's been this year. She's just she just plays way older than she is. She's confident, she's smooth, she just does everything at a high level, can score from all three levels. And that's how she's always played. And that's obviously translated really well.
Their college journeys couldn't have been more different. Paige Bueckers chose a storied UConn program under Gino Auriemma, stepping into a dynasty with multiple championships. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, committed to Iowa, a solid team, but far from a national powerhouse, determined to build something special from the ground up. That decision laid the foundation for unforgettable NCAA tournament clashes that would shape both of their legacies. Clark's Hawkeyes ended Ucken's title hopes in dramatic fashion, with Clark delivering a jaw-dropping 41-point performance that sent the Huskies packing. She won 2 of their 3 college showdowns, often outshining Bueckers when the lights were brightest. The rivalry quickly took on a life of its own, sparking endless debates among fans and analysts, a clash of styles, schools, and legacies that transcended the college game.
And a lot of people are saying, everything is she was Caitlin before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin and all this stuff. That kind of stopped in the media. Caitlin Clark put up better numbers in the WNBA than Paige did in college.
Gino Auriemma had pointed critiques of Caitlin Clark's game, openly questioning her shot selection and whether her style would translate effectively to the WNBA. In contrast, he championed his own star, Paige Bueckers, as a more polished and fundamentally sound player whose game was better suited for pros. Clark's high-octane scoring and deep-range shooting clash with Bueckers' smooth efficiency and textbook execution, 2 players embodying opposing philosophies of basketball greatness.
And Diana said it best, this kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Both stars declared for the WNBA, and fans eagerly waited for their long-anticipated first clash as professionals. With Clark holding a 2-1 edge over Bueckers in college, all eyes were on whether she could extend that dominance on the pro stage, especially as questions swirled around her recent struggles with the Fever. The hype was real. ABC aired the game nationally, knowing the rivalry would pull in viewers coast to coast. For Clark, this wasn't just another matchup. It was a pivotal moment to silence the critics and reclaim her narrative.
Talking to our player development coach yesterday, and he was like, just sent me a few things of like even Steph going through a slump. I think he was like 27 for his last 70 or something like that. Like the best in the world go through it, and I think that's like where you can find your confidence. And I think the thing I always fall back on is like, I know how hard I've worked, so this isn't something that's going to last, and the best players in the world go through this. So I feel like I'm getting good shots, and I think that's why it's frustrating, because those are the shots that I make.
But here's where it gets interesting. Clark's Fever were in a free fall heading into this high-stakes showdown. Indiana had just dropped back-to-back games to the LA Sparks and the expansion Golden State Valkyries, teams they were expected to beat handily. These weren't top-tier opponents. They were winnable matchups that turned into head-scratching losses, leaving fans wondering what was going wrong just days before Clark's most anticipated WNBA face-off yet.
I feel like this stretch, this is a big game for us. I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game. So I think for us is like, we got to find a way to be able to stack really good games together, and then we go on the road, and we're on a back-to-back, which is just a challenge in itself. No matter who you're playing, we play Connecticut, then we play New York. So I think Steph's message was, yes, All-Stars coming up, that break's coming up, but our focus is on these 3 games that we have left. So in that sense, I do think it's critical that our focus just remains on the game in front of us, and I feel like that's what everybody in the locker room is doing.
Behind the scenes, a clash of basketball ideologies was reaching a boiling point. Caitlin Clark thrived in a fast-paced, transition-heavy style, using her vision and speed to fuel quick offense. But head coach Stephanie White favored a slow, methodical half-court game. This fundamental difference created growing tension throughout the organization. The breaking point came during a nationally televised game against the Atlanta Dream. Cameras captured a heated exchange between Clark and White on the sidelines, a moment that laid bare the friction simmering beneath the surface. Their visible frustration wasn't just about one play. It was a culmination of 2 opposing visions for how this team should operate.
There is definitely something going on within the locker room, the front office. Something is off, man. This is the 3rd situation in one game we have had involving Caitlin Clark and the coaching staff and pretty much another player. And it looked like Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White definitely had a situation where they was in a heated exchange right before halftime.
Players were unsure of their roles, and it showed. Missed shots stacked up, turnovers derailed possessions, and Clark's signature fast break brilliance was nowhere to be found. Even Clark admitted the inconsistency. I think we've struggled in the fact that we're able to play one good game, and then we play a bad game, then we play a good game, then we play a bad game. Her shooting slump only added to the concern, though she stayed resilient. "I'm never going to stop shooting," she said, drawing a comparison to Steph Curry's cold streaks.
Leroux the other night had a season-high 18 points. Here's Boston turning the corner. Dishing to Hull. Extra feed Clark. A deep 3. You bet! And he actually brought up stats from a shooting slump Steph Curry went through. She said that made her feel a lot better. That pass will as well. Right on the money to Mitchell.
Cunningham attacked the closeout.
Clark, the rejection of Quinterly. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown Fever.
Early on, it wasn't clear if the new approach would pay off. The first quarter was a feeling-out process for both teams, with neither side pulling away. The Fever looked solid but far from dominant, still trying to find their rhythm. Clark was focused on facilitating, getting her teammates involved and setting the tone, but the real fireworks hadn't started yet. Meanwhile, the Wings matched their energy, keeping the game tight and competitive from the jump.
Here's Clark being hawked by Isaiah James. Clark sidestepping 3 is good. Clark backing down Quinterly. 6 to shoot, baiting away and dropping it in. Beautiful. Here's Clark off the screen, through the lane, feeds Howard. Another assist for Clark. That's 13 as Howard is up to 18 points.
Then came the second quarter, and that's when everything exploded. Clark kicked into high gear, pushing the pace with precision and confidence. Her full-court touchdown passes were on full display, threading needles and hitting teammates perfectly in stride. The Fever caught fire, dropping a staggering 36 points in just 10 minutes and outscoring Dallas by 21 in that stretch. This wasn't just great basketball. It was poetry in motion, orchestrated by a superstar finally given the keys.
I feel like this was one of their best games as far as playing Fever basketball, which is a fast-paced style of basketball. They played Fever basketball for, I would say, about 75 to 80% of the game. And we have obviously seen this style of basketball, the style of basketball that we all know and love from the Indiana Fever, but we have only really seen it in short spurts. There have been so many games and so many times throughout this season where it feels like the Fever system is a slow down basketball type of system. Their offense wasn't running smoothly, but in this game, they were playing quick. They were moving the ball around. They had so many points off of the fast break.
This blowout win wasn't just about revenge. It revealed the Fever's true ceiling when Clark is allowed to run the show. With the second half of the 2025 season looming and this iconic rivalry just heating up at the pro level, fans have every reason to get hyped. Challenging road games against Connecticut and New York are on deck, but the Fever finally look ready. If you believe Clark is just getting started, drop a CC record breaker in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on the screen. We'll see you in the next one.